Welcome to Numismatic Vault, the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're hidden treasures waiting to be found. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable state quarters. Some of these coins are worth far more than you'd ever imagine, and the best part, they could be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your change in a whole new way. Top 1. We have an incredible story to share about one of America's most interesting state quarters, the Illinois 2003 state quarter dollar. This coin might look like just another quarter at first glance, but hidden within its design and history lies a story of rarity, errors, and collector passion that can turn an ordinary piece of pocket change into something worth a small fortune. So sit back, listen carefully, and enjoy this deep dive into the Illinois state quarter. Let's begin with the background. The United States Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program in 1999, an ambitious project that ran until 2008. Each year, 5 new state quarters were released, celebrating every state in the Union. By the time the program ended, it had become the most successful coin program in American history, introducing millions of people to the joy of collecting. And among all those designs, the Illinois 2003 quarter stands out as a particularly fascinating piece. Illinois, famously known as the Land of Lincoln, had its quarter released as the 21st coin in the series, honoring its status as the 21st state admitted to the Union. The coin was officially issued on January 2, 2003, and it immediately caught the attention of collectors and history lovers. Now, let's talk about the design, which makes this coin so meaningful. On the reverse side, the Illinois state quarter proudly features a young Abraham Lincoln standing in the foreground. This is a powerful tribute, as Illinois is the state where Lincoln built his early career and became the leader who would go on to change American history forever. Behind him, you see an outline of the state of Illinois with a detailed Chicago skyline and farmland, perfectly capturing both the urban and rural spirit of the state. At the top is the state's nickname, Land of Lincoln, which has been proudly associated with Illinois for decades. The obverse of the coin, of course, carries the classic profile of George Washington, but what makes the Illinois design so unique is how it tells a complete story of American values, youth, progress, and leadership, all represented in one small piece of metal. It is not just a coin, it is a miniature history lesson, but here's where things get even more interesting. Millions of Illinois quarters were minted, but not all are equal in the eyes of collectors. Most of the quarters ended up in circulation, clinking around in pockets, vending machines, and piggy banks. These circulated quarters are fun to keep, but they usually don't carry much additional value. However, if you happen to have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, a proof or silver-proof version, then you've got something special. And then there are the error coins, the real treasures for collectors. Minting errors can happen in many ways, and the Illinois quarter is no exception. Some rare examples include off-center strikes, double dies, missing designs, or even coins that were struck on the wrong planchet. These mistakes may seem small, but to collectors, they are golden opportunities. Why? Because error coins are rare, unique, and almost impossible to reproduce, which makes them extremely desirable. Imagine holding a coin that only exists in a handful of examples because of a mistake at the mint. That's the kind of thrill that keeps collectors hunting. Another factor that drives up the value of the Illinois quarter is its condition. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining value. A coin graded in mint state, with no scratches, marks, or signs of wear, can be worth many times more than the same coin that has been in circulation. For example, a mint state 67 or higher Illinois quarter can fetch serious money at auctions, especially if it's an error variety or a proof strike with flawless details. Collectors also love the Illinois state quarter because of its connection to Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln has always been one of the most admired presidents in American history, and any coin that features him carries a special level of respect and demand. Combine that with the rarity of certain minting errors and the beauty of the design, and you've got a coin that can truly excite even the most seasoned coin enthusiast. Now imagine this, you're going through an old jar of coins, maybe something passed down from a relative or sitting untouched in your drawer for years. You spot an Illinois quarter from 2003. At first, you think it's just a regular quarter worth 25 cents. But after a closer look, you realize it's in perfect condition, with no signs of circulation. Or maybe you notice a slight error in the design, something unusual that sets it apart. That's when your heart starts racing, because you may have just found a piece worth thousands. The Illinois 2003 State Quarter is the perfect example of how history, design, and rarity come together to create something far more valuable than its face value. It's not just a piece of change, it's a collectible treasure that tells a story of America, its leaders, and its people. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Illinois quarters are worth only face value or a few dollars in circulated condition, the rarest examples in mint state, especially those with unique minting errors, can reach astonishing prices at auction. If you are lucky enough to own one of these gems, in flawless uncirculated condition or carrying a rare error, it could be worth an incredible $79,000. That's right, $79,000 for a single Illinois state quarter dollar from 2003.so. Coin lovers, make sure you check your collection carefully. You never know when one of these small treasures might be hiding in plain sight. Top 2. We're taking a closer look at a coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your collection or change jar, the United States of America South Carolina State Quarter Dollar from the year 2000. This coin may look like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but for serious collectors, it holds incredible stories, hidden rarities, and even the potential to be worth a small fortune. So listen carefully, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this coin is one of the most exciting pieces to search for in the State Quarter series. Let's start with a little history. The South Carolina Quarter was part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, one of the most ambitious and popular coin programs in U.S. mint history. Launched in 1999, the program issued 5 new state quarters every year in the order that states joined the Union. South Carolina's coin came out in 2000, making it the 8th coin in the series. These quarters captured the imagination of the public, turning millions of people into casual coin collectors almost overnight. And today, some of those same quarters are highly prized for their rarity and condition. Now let's dive into the design. The South Carolina Quarter is truly a masterpiece of symbolism. On the reverse side, it proudly features an outline of the state itself, along with 3 important icons: the Carolina wren, the state bird, the palmetto tree, a symbol that also appears on the state flag, and the yellow jessamine, the state flower. Together, these images represent the natural beauty and heritage of South Carolina. To top it off, the quarter also includes a star marking the location of the state's capital, Columbia. It's a coin that tells a story not only of geography, but also of culture and pride. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which appears on all state quarters. But when you flip the coin over and look at the South Carolina reverse, you can see why this particular state quarter has such appeal among collectors. The intricate details, the balance of symbols, and the connection to history make it stand out. But what truly excites collectors is not just the design, it's the rarity and the possibility of errors. Millions of South Carolina quarters were minted in 2000, but here's the catch: the vast majority of them went into circulation. That means they were handled, scratched, and worn down by everyday use. Finding one today in pristine, uncirculated condition is much harder than you might think. Coins in mint state condition, especially those graded above MS-66, can fetch impressive premiums because of their rarity. And then there are the error coins, the true treasures of the South Carolina Quarter. Errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and these mistakes turn ordinary coins into highly collectible rarities. With the South Carolina 2000 Quarter, collectors have reported fascinating errors such as double die obverse, where the lettering or design elements appear doubled, off-center strikes, where the design is shifted noticeably from its proper placement, and even quarters struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was struck on a blank meant for another denomination. Each of these errors is unique, making them incredibly desirable to collectors who want something that no one else has. Another factor that increases the appeal of the South Carolina Quarter is the timing of its release. It came out at the very beginning of the new millennium, a year that already holds symbolic significance. Collectors often place extra importance on coins from milestone years like 2000, which adds to the demand for these quarters in top condition. Now let's talk about value. A circulated South Carolina quarter that's been rattling around in someone's pocket for 20 years is probably only worth its face value of 25 cents. But the story changes dramatically when you're dealing with coins in superb condition or with rare errors. A flawless, uncirculated example graded by a top coin grading service can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Add in a rare minting error, and the price skyrockets. This is why coin collectors always say, check your change carefully. That simple-looking quarter in your hand might not be so simple after all. The South Carolina quarter is one of those coins where a careful eye can make all the difference. Think about it, a coin that millions of people used every day to buy coffee, snacks, or bus tickets could secretly be worth an incredible amount of money if it happens to be a rare variety in perfect condition. That's the beauty of coin collecting, you never know when you'll discover a hidden gem, and now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While ordinary South Carolina quarters are still worth 25 cents, the rarest examples in uncirculated condition, especially those with unique and dramatic errors, have been known to reach an astonishing value. If you are lucky enough to own one of these extraordinary pieces, you could be holding a coin worth $76,000. That's right, $76,000 for a single South Carolina state quarter dollar from the year 2000. So, coin lovers, the next time you're digging through an old jar of coins, sorting your collection, or even checking your pocket change, pay close attention to the details. You might just come across one of these treasures. And if you do, it could change everything. Top 3. We're traveling back to the year 2000 to take a closer look at the United States of America Massachusetts state quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter from your pocket change, but if you listen carefully, you'll see why this coin has become such a special piece for collectors. By the end of this video, you'll discover just how much this coin could be worth if you're lucky enough to find the right one. Let's begin with the history behind this quarter. The Massachusetts quarter was the very first coin released in the year 2000 under the 50-state quarters program. This program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, was one of the most successful initiatives in the history of the U.S. Mint. Millions of Americans began collecting coins for the very first time because of this program, and it created a surge of interest in numismatics. Each coin represented a different state, highlighting its history, culture, and identity. Massachusetts, of course, is known as the Bay State, and it has one of the richest historical backgrounds in the country. From the landing of the Pilgrims to the American Revolution, Massachusetts has always been at the heart of American history. When the quarter was released in January 2000, it became an instant favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Now let's talk about the design of the Massachusetts quarter. On the reverse side, you'll notice the outline of the state itself, making it immediately recognizable. Within that outline is the figure of a Minuteman, a symbol of the citizen soldiers who stood ready at a moment's notice to fight during the Revolutionary War. The Minuteman statue is one of the most iconic symbols of Massachusetts, located at the Minuteman National Historical Park in Concord. Alongside this patriotic figure, you'll also see a star marking the location of Boston, the state's capital. The obverse side of the coin carries the familiar portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, which appears on all state quarters. But when you turn it over and see that Minuteman, you can almost feel the history of the American Revolution come alive in your hands. This design captures the spirit of bravery, independence, and sacrifice that Massachusetts has represented for centuries, but what really excites collectors is not just the design, but the rarity and the unique features that make certain Massachusetts quarters so valuable. Millions were minted, but most went straight into circulation. That means they were passed around in daily transactions, exposed to scratches, wear, and damage. Finding one today in perfect, uncirculated condition is much harder than you might expect. Collectors place a huge premium on coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, especially those graded at mint state 67 or higher, and then there are the minting errors, the treasures that can turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into a rare gem worth thousands. Some Massachusetts quarters are known to have double die errors, where the details of the design appear slightly doubled. Others have off-center strikes, where the image is misaligned from the blank planchet. Even more exciting are quarters that were accidentally struck on the wrong type of planchet, such as one intended for a nickel or a foreign coin. Each of these errors is extremely rare, and collectors will pay a premium to own such unique pieces. Proof versions of the Massachusetts quarter, especially those struck in silver, also hold significant value if kept in flawless condition. Proof coins are made with special care, featuring sharp details and mirror-like finishes. A silver-proof Massachusetts quarter from 2000, kept in its original packaging without any blemishes, can fetch much higher prices than a standard circulation strike. Now, why is this particular coin so appealing to collectors beyond the usual factors of rarity and condition? The answer lies in its historical symbolism. The Minuteman is not just a figure on a coin, it represents the determination and courage of ordinary people who fought for freedom. Collectors love coins that tell a story, and the Massachusetts quarter tells one of the greatest stories in American history. That historical significance, combined with rarity and condition, is what makes this coin truly special. Imagine going through your old coin jar, or perhaps an inherited collection from a parent or grandparent, and finding a Massachusetts quarter from 2000. At first, it looks like just another quarter, but then you notice that it's in perfect condition, or you spot something unusual about its design that hints at an error. That moment of discovery is what every collector dreams of, the thrill of realizing that what looks ordinary could actually be something extraordinary. This is the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal and numbers, it's about history, rarity, and the possibility that a small piece of change could hold incredible value. The Massachusetts 2000 quarter embodies all of these qualities. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. While ordinary Massachusetts quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents, and some uncirculated examples might sell for a few dollars, the rarest coins, those in flawless mint state or with significant errors, can reach shocking prices at auction. If you are fortunate enough to own one of these rare gems, you could be holding a coin worth an amazing $74,000, yes, that's right, $74,000 for a single Massachusetts state quarter dollar from the year 2000. Coin lovers, make sure you check your change carefully, and don't overlook those state quarters you've tucked away over the years. That simple little coin could be the hidden treasure you've been waiting for. Top 4. We're diving deep into one of the most breathtaking coins from the 50 state quarters program, the United States of America Oregon state quarter dollar from 2005. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary piece of change, but if you listen carefully and pay close attention, you'll see why this coin has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. Stay with me until the end, because the value of this coin in rare cases will absolutely surprise you. Let's start with the history of this coin. The Oregon State Quarter was released on June 6, 2005, as part of the celebrated 50 State Quarters program. By this time, the program had already become one of the most popular coin programs in U.S. history, inspiring millions of Americans to collect coins for the very first time. Oregon's design marked the 33rd release in the series, honoring the state that joined the Union back in 1859. Oregon is known for its natural beauty, towering forests, rugged coastlines, and of course, the world-famous Crater Lake. And that's exactly what the coin showcases. When the Mint unveiled this design, collectors and nature lovers alike were stunned by the artistry and meaning behind it. Now, let's take a closer look at the design itself. On the reverse side of the Oregon Quarter, you'll see the breathtaking view of Crater Lake National Park. In the foreground stands Wizard Island, a volcanic formation rising from the middle of the lake. Surrounding it are the steep cliffs of the crater, capturing the majesty of one of the most iconic natural landmarks in America. The inscription, Crater Lake, makes it clear that this design was chosen to celebrate Oregon's natural heritage. This isn't just a coin, it's a tiny masterpiece that brings the beauty of the Pacific Northwest into the palm of your hand. The obverse side, as with all state quarters, features the portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, updated slightly for the series. But the magic of the Oregon Quarter lies in the reverse design, a stunning reminder of the state's geological wonders. But here's where things get exciting for collectors. While millions of Oregon quarters were produced, not all are equal in value. Most went into circulation, jingling around in pockets, vending machines, and coin jars. Those circulated examples are still fun to collect, but they generally only carry face value. The real treasures are found in the coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, or in rare cases, those with unique minting errors. Errors are what truly make some Oregon quarters worth serious money. For example, there are double die errors, where the lettering or parts of the design appear doubled under magnification. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, creating a noticeable shift. Even rarer are coins struck on the wrong type of planchet, such as being struck on a nickel or dime blank. These mistakes are incredibly scarce, and collectors will pay a premium for them because they are essentially one of a kind. Another factor that raises the value is grading. Coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on their condition. An Oregon quarter in mint state 65 is already considered a solid find, but if you discover one graded mint state 67 or higher, you are looking at a coin that could command thousands at auction. Flawless examples are rare because so many coins were used in daily transactions, and even minor scratches or marks can lower the grade. Proof coins also add another layer of interest. Special proof versions of the Oregon quarter were struck in both clad and silver, with mirror-like finishes and crisp details. If you have one of these in perfect condition, especially the silver proof, its value is far greater than a regular circulation coin. Collectors are always eager to add proof coins to their sets because of their beauty and rarity. So why do collectors love the Oregon quarter so much? The answer lies in the combination of beauty, symbolism, and scarcity. It represents not just a state, but a natural wonder that is unlike anything else in the world. Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States and was formed by a massive volcanic eruption nearly 8,000 years ago. Having that history captured on a coin makes it far more than just currency. It becomes a piece of storytelling, a celebration of nature's power and beauty. Now imagine this: you stumble upon an Oregon quarter in your coin jar or maybe inherit a collection from a relative. At first, it looks like any other state quarter, but then you notice it's flawless, no scratches, no marks, gleaming as though it just left the mint. Or even more thrilling, you discover a subtle error in its design, something most people would miss. That's when you realize you could be holding something truly extraordinary, a coin that collectors all over the world would love to own. And this is what makes coin collecting so exciting, the idea that treasures are hidden in plain sight. An ordinary-looking quarter could be worth far more than its face value if you know what to look for. The Oregon 2005 state quarter is a perfect example of how history, art, and rarity come together to create something special. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Oregon quarters in circulation are worth only face value, and uncirculated examples might bring a few dollars, the rarest pieces, those in flawless mint state or with dramatic errors, have shocked collectors with their auction prices. If you are lucky enough to own one of these rare treasures, you could be holding a coin worth an astounding $72,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $72,000 for a single Oregon state quarter dollar from 2005. Coin lovers, check your collections carefully and keep an eye on those state quarters. You never know when a hidden gem might be waiting for you. Top 5. We are traveling to the western United States to take a closer look at a coin that celebrates one of the most iconic states in America, the United States of America. Nevada state quarter dollar, released in 2006. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter from your pocket change, but once you learn about its history, design, rarity, and the hidden errors that make some examples incredibly valuable, you'll never look at it the same way again. So, coin lovers, listen very carefully and enjoy this deep dive, because this coin has the power to turn ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. Let's begin with a little history. The Nevada quarter was the 36th release in the famous 50-state quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. mint history. Nevada became the 36th state to join the Union in 1864, right in the middle of the Civil War. Known as the Silver State, Nevada has always been famous for its mining history, its wide-open desert landscapes, and of course, its untamed spirit of the American West. The state's motto is, "All for our country," and the quarter design truly captures this sense of pride and heritage. Now let's take a closer look at the design. On the reverse side of the Nevada state quarter, you'll see a stunning image that perfectly represents the state's character. In the center are 3 wild Mustangs, racing across the desert landscape. These horses symbolize freedom, strength, and the untamed beauty of Nevada's open lands. Behind them are snow-capped mountains and the sun rising over the desert, a breathtaking reminder of Nevada's diverse natural environment. At the bottom, you'll see the inscription, "The Silver State," paying tribute to Nevada's rich mining history, which earned it a place in American economic and industrial growth. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, which was slightly modified for the State Quarter series. But it's the reverse design with the Mustangs and the Silver State motto that makes this coin truly stand out in any collection. Now, here's where things get really interesting for collectors. While millions of Nevada quarters were minted in 2006, not all are equal in value. The vast majority were used in everyday transactions, passed from hand to hand, worn down in circulation, and eventually tossed into jars or spent at stores. Those circulated examples generally remain worth only face value. But coins that survived in pristine, uncirculated condition are much harder to find today. Collectors place a significant premium on coins graded mint state 66 or higher, and even more so for coins that reach the elusive mint state 68 grade. What truly excites collectors, however, are the rare error coins. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occur, and those errors can turn an ordinary Nevada quarter into a valuable treasure. Examples include double die errors, where design elements like the lettering or details on the Mustangs appear doubled. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the blank, leaving a portion of the coin empty. Some coins even exhibit missing details due to weak strikes, or they may have been struck on the wrong type of planchet entirely, for example, a planchet intended for another denomination. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and collectors are always eager to add such rare varieties to their collections. Another special category of Nevada quarters includes proof coins. These were specially struck for collectors, with polished dies that create sharp details and mirror-like finishes. Silver-proof versions, in particular, are highly prized if they are kept in flawless condition. A silver-proof Nevada quarter preserved in its original packaging, free from any blemishes, holds far more value than a regular circulation strike. So why is this coin so appealing to collectors beyond its rarity and condition? The answer lies in its symbolism and storytelling. The Nevada quarter is more than just a piece of metal, it is a celebration of freedom, heritage, and the rugged spirit of the American West. Those Mustangs racing across the desert are not only beautiful to look at, but they also remind us of Nevada's history and culture. Collectors love coins that tell a story, and this quarter tells one of wild landscapes, natural beauty, and the enduring identity of the Silver State. Now picture this. You're looking through a coin jar, sorting through your collection, or maybe even receiving change from a purchase. You notice a 2006 Nevada quarter. At first, it looks like any other state quarter, but then you realize it's in pristine condition, gleaming without a single mark. Or even better, you spot something unusual in the design, maybe doubling in the lettering or a slightly off-center strike. That moment of discovery is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. What looks like ordinary change could actually be a hidden treasure worth far more than you imagined. This is why it's always important to check your coins carefully. Millions of people spent these quarters without a second thought, but for those who looked closer, some discovered rare gems hiding in plain sight. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Nevada quarters remain worth only 25 cents, the rarest examples, those in flawless uncirculated condition or featuring dramatic minting errors, have reached incredible prices at auctions and in private sales. If you are lucky enough to own one of these exceptional pieces, you could be holding a coin worth an astounding $70,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $70,000 for a single Nevada state quarter dollar from 2006. So, coin lovers, don't overlook the coins in your collection or even the change in your pocket. The Nevada quarter may seem common, but the right one could be a true rarity worth a fortune. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.